I just wanted to take the audience through the journey of 30 Finsbury Square, through the lens of the WELL standard. So 30 Finsbury Square is an existing building in London, and it's just going comprehensive refurbishment at the minute. It was first completed in 2002, so now needs sort of to meet the modern requirements of sustainability, energy performance, and sort of what matters to tenants or to occupants of the buildings now. So one of the key ways of doing that is we're following the WELL standard, as it's an evidence base. It's all backed by scientific research. So we have a defined roadmap to sort of use for making that building into a healthy workplace for the future occupants. For this one, we're following WELL version 2 core. So this looks at the base building, so shell and core buildings, looking at the landlord areas predominantly. So WELL core is quite a distinct pathway. It's sort of designed to motivate the incoming tenants to sort of think about their spaces in terms of health and well-being. So if your base building is already into that space, how can I make my tenanted areas into a better space for the tenants? So that's sort of the drivers in the end for future tenants. WELL first sort of developed in early 2010 and was formally launched in 2014. It took over 10 years plus development, looking at more than 7,000 scientific studies and research to really form a concrete, viable, evidence-based framework. And the strategies are based around sort of 10 concepts. So you're looking at a range from air, water, lighting, community, mind, how does that influence the different aspects? Looking at well-being in a holistic way, so you're looking at your physical, mental and social well-being. So that's sort of how the standard is developed. And then one key aspect of the standard is it is a performance-based standard. It's not a one-off achievement. It's not, I've got my certification badge now and I'm done. No, it's on annual basis. You have to sort of monitor your building, especially in terms of air quality, your water quality. So it's a continuous process of improvement. And I think that's sort of what gives that credibility at the end of the day to the building. So what you can't measure, you can't really improve. So you're in that continuous process of improvement. So the client had very clear commitments from day one, which sort of really helps the project team to, set the goals and set our different key milestones in between. So we are currently targeting WELL Core Gold. So that's the sort of the rating we're achieving. So WELL works in a way of like where you have some preconditions, meaning there are some strategies that you have or mandatory to achieve, which sort of set the foundation of what a healthy building is. So we have those preconditions, and then as a project team with the client, we sort of identify other strategies that are relevant to 30 Finsbury Square that would matter to 30 Finsbury Square. So yeah, that's sort of combination of those minimum strategies to a WELL building plus some additional ones that really sort of resonated with the project team and the client. One key challenges of an existing building is because it's an existing building, we do not want to create more works to the building. We want to retain as much as possible. So we're retaining the cores of the building, so the staircases. So I think one of the key aspects is one of the features of WELL is like a prominent location of your stairs. So you see kind of when you enter a building, you see the stairs first and then you see the lift. So I think those are some challenges in an existing building where you can't really move the stairs and the lifts because you want to sort of keep those structures within the building. So that's one of the key sort of challenges we face on an existing building. I'm not a WELL AP, but I'm part of the sustainability consultant on the project. So we partner with a sort of a certification team that helps us through the certification. But I work closely with them in driving the different strategies for the building. And I think just beyond that is to really deliver a WELL building is you really need to have collaboration from the start, and you really need engagement from different parties to sort of achieve your goals. And I think one key milestone or achievement we managed to do, because we had that strong collaboration, is we had a pre-certification. What that means is we were able to submit some evidence to the administrator for their review. So quite early on, we tried to minimize any risk of redesign. We sort of identify any compliance gaps. So we would not be able to get to that stage if we don't get buy-in from every party, from the architects, from the structural engineers, from the client. And so it's really a collaborative process to be able to go through that. We are definitely hitting some other sustainability standards within this project. We are targeting Neighbours Design for Performance. So Neighbours is a sort of an Australian scheme and sort of moved to the UK just for office buildings. So that is quite a key one in terms of the operational energy performance of the building. That's the key focus of that one. And then the next one is BREEAM Outstanding. I think, and then I think among the three, BREEAM is sort of the most commonly used in the UK. So it is quite a challenge to sort of take all three of them and sort of walk along with those strategies in the projects. And I think that, again, that's where the collaboration piece come in, where you sort of have to try and make everything work together on the project. For the well core, we definitely just looking at the landlord spaces like reception, your FM offices. Because it is a well core, you're sort of scored up on those spaces. It doesn't penalize you because you're not a tenanted spaces. But I think that what would drive is for when tenants come in, I think through a green lease, is you'll have to specify whatever the base building is targeting so that the tenants don't sort of breach those ratings already in place. Because if we are targeting air quality, air travels all around the place. So you will need to make sure your tenanted space are fit out in a proper way, using the right products, having the low VOCs and all of that. So there's definitely things that have to work together at the end of the day. Even though we're targeting well core, the tenants would need to be aware of those ratings and what they need to specify within their fit outs at a later stage.